something I want to talk about. And FYI, I just want to put this out there. I'm not trying to sound negative by talking about the subject that I'm about to talk about. I'm not going to dive into it too hard because I don't want to be here for very long, but because I have things to do. But I got to say, I very much so dislike when people jump to conclusions. And what reminded me of this is social media. It can be anywhere, any platform: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's all over the place. It's happening. Um, it does have to do with, well, you know what? I'm going to steer clear of this topic because it's a whole nother thing to go down. I don't want to get political. Politics is not fun for me to talk about, nor do I think it really solves anything. Um, but let's just say that you post something for the small fact that you like the video because it's funny, or it's ridiculous, or you don't agree with it, so you post it. There's so many reasons why somebody would share and post a video. And my issue with it is that it starts problems without people thoroughly investigating why you posted something. I mean, it really shouldn't matter. I think that people take things too serious. I think that people need to be more open minded, like I am right now. When I see somebody post something, and let's just say it's a topic where maybe it's not a video, but maybe they wrote something and I may not agree with it. Real quick here, it's kind of funny what this is turning into, this whole live thing. But they may post something that I may not agree with, but I'm not going to comment. And if I feel the need to comment on something that they posted, I'm not going to start a war. I'm just going to ask them if I cared enough to, and I'm that curious. Hey, why did you post this? What was your angle? If I'm just curious, coming from a curious standpoint, I'm never going to question somebody and be like, why are you posting this? Like, you have no right to post this, when everybody has a right to post or do whatever they want. But you just see it all the time that things get so taken out of context so fast, and it happens on every platform. It happens, yeah. I mean, the ones that it mostly happens on are platforms where you can talk and put videos. And what I mean by that is like write and post videos. Sure, you could do it on YouTube, but that's not really the platform I feel like that's strong in that department. You see a lot of this happening on Twitter. You see a lot of this happening on Facebook, Instagram, but not as much. Those two right there, you see a lot of that happen. Everyone should have a right, but everyone doesn't have the right. Well, and that's another thing, like, not to not to target what you're saying, but I'm just putting this out there. It's okay to agree to disagree, right? We all have opinions. We all have different views. Um, I think everybody has the equal right, but what I will say is that if you care enough to post something, you should educate yourself so that you don't look stupid or you don't come off ignorant, um, or not open minded. So I think taking those things into consideration really make a big difference. And again, this is not for me. Yeah, I mean, keep it PG. That's where I think people cross the line. They get too wrapped up into somebody else's outlook on something. Unless you're being blatantly ignorant and you're making a blanket statement and you're just kind of like You're not, you know what I mean? Like, if I were to say something about somebody and I didn't know them, I, I, I didn't do any research, but maybe, I heard it, some propaganda or something like that. And this is, again, not to just target, uh, um, you know, politics here, although the whole propaganda thing is kind of mainly riding on that. But it's just, it's just a thing. What are you saying? Ignorant and stupid is a matter of opinion. Well, I mean, you are entitled to think however you want to think. If that means, thinking people are wrong, if they don't have the same opinion as you, saying that in general, of course. I'm not actually saying because you want to think a certain way. People overuse ignorant. It's come to mean opposite of what I think. Yeah, opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really wanted to say here, because regardless of political stuff, it can mean in any term. You know what I mean? Like, if I just post something non-political, but it rubs somebody the wrong way, and maybe the video has a different meaning of the reason why I shared it, like, at least, like, if you're gonna think a certain way about, I guess, a post, and you have an opinion and you really want to, like, say something to me, I mean, at least, like, maybe call me, text me if you have my number, message me, do something like that, because I can tell you that I share things that don't even have the same meaning as what that video is trying to portray. It's kind of like a song, you know what I mean? Like, when you hear a song, every song has a different meaning to somebody. It's not all the same. You know what I mean? Like, that song, you get that emotion from that song. This is how you feel when you listen to that song. This is what that song does for you. But what that very same song does for you, it's different for somebody else. Absolutely, yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. And that's why I said this doesn't go, or this doesn't have to do with politics necessarily. And it's not even a topic that I really like to dive into, because a lot of times it ends ugly. And it's just one of those things that I steer clear of. It's not that I don't, want to get into a conversation like that, but it's very difficult to have conversations like that take place, especially on social media, and have people's opinions weighed respectively. So I just, that's kind of a conversation that I would rather have in person. But this just goes for anything. And I just see it all the time, just being a bystander, just scrolling through Facebook, or I know I'm saying Facebook. I don't use Facebook a whole lot, but I kind of have recently, just because it's a good tool to spread content. But there's just a fine example that, like, scrolling Facebook, scrolling Twitter, and you see certain videos or certain posts, and people take it a certain way, and I'm able to look at that post, like me, and even step outside of myself and maybe put myself in other people's shoes and think, oh, I could see why they shared that video. I don't think that they shared it, and I could even be wrong about that, but I'm going to go into it with a positive mindset, and what I get from it, maybe it's a feeling, or and maybe I don't know the person, but from what I get from the post that they shared, I may get this, I may get this feeling from it, or this is what it seems like to me. You know what I mean? I think it's easier when you're friends with certain people and you know that person. Then it's kind of easier to read them, and you know them, and you can kind of figure out, like, okay, this is kind of like their humor. So it makes sense why they shared this post. But you just see it all the time. You see it a lot, that people misconstrued. They automatically think the worst when someone puts something up. And I think having that mindset can be very destructive. I'm accused of that. Neurodivergent, and people hate how I think and read all types of mess into it. It's like, dude, I wasn't even going that deep. No, I understand. You know what I mean? And it's also tough for people to read the room when it comes to social media, because there's no tone. When you're typing something, you put something out there, or you share a video. I mean, the video speaks for you, but it doesn't necessarily hit the mark as to why you shared it. So I think that also creates a lot of, you know, unknown territory. Like they don't know you. They don't know you from a grain of salt. So they're just going on assumption. And to a degree, it's understandable because they don't know you. Maybe you're passing through Twitter, maybe a celebrity said something, and right away you're like, this is ignorant, or um, maybe you're even trying to understand it, but it's hard without context. So I think that also creates that kind of chaotic environment, and people will assume stuff. Like just yesterday, I said a woman gave me Kathy Bates vibes, and he thought I was mocking her for being old when I was referencing the actress because she had played a character who tortured a man. Okay, yeah. These are like prime examples. Like, so, but yeah, I just something that I wanted to talk about that I see a lot, and I've never addressed it. Not that my channel revolves around that sort of thing, but since I've been doing these lives, I'm like, I might as well share my opinions on things, or at least my views on things. And, not that I have this great big opinion. I think that I just try to look at it from a neutral standpoint, and I try not to assume the worst. Um, because assumption, it can ruin a lot of things. It can ruin friendships. It can ruin potential friendships, and it can really get in the way of things. But that's really what I wanted to talk about here. Um, yeah, I will say that it's a shame that you know I you can't definitively say because you don't know the percentage. And I'm not trying to be that guy to be like, this happens more so than not, like, because as much as there is negativity, there is positivity. And again, I want to address that I wasn't jumping on here to talk about anything negative, even though it can kind of get to that point. This is just again, this is just how I see this happen. Yeah, I'm not the same channel as others. Same movie, different channel. But I'll just say this. It's just a shame when I see a post or something and I get it right away, or even if I don't know them, going into the mindset that I have that I just described, like being neutral and kind of not assuming things. It is a shame when you see somebody kind of just like throw that out the window, and they're just like pouncing on that person, like attack, attack, attack. And it's like, it's kind of, it can be immature, you know? So it's like, at least if you have a strong opinion, you want to say something, or you want to like put something out there to everybody else is going to see it. It's like, at least ask why, maybe in some type of private setting, if you're able to. For most of these things, we're able to message, where it's not on a thread. But, blatant ignorance, that also is a problem. But that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother thing. And this is something that you could obviously dive into and get pretty deep with. But yeah, guys, that's just what I wanted to talk about. Maybe I will go live later on. I've got to get to work. I've also need to do a couple things before I do that, and I need to charge my phone. So, all right, I'll see you guys. Have a good one.